Right, are you ready?
I am. I am now.
You are dying. I've got a.
Right, I'm ready now. Yeah.
I've got a new opening. Last week's was high energy. This one's a little bit different. I think it could work well for us. I think it will certainly draw a crowd. Hopefully.
Right. Okay.
That's when you know I find myself really funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, are you ready?
Oh, you're the only one who does.
Oh, bitch!
Oh, burn.
Yeah, that was. Might have to go and cry. Welcome to the most erotic, topless gaming podcast online. Nothing to play at night. With me, Pondis, and my voluptuous co-host.
How did you know I was topless?
I'm just sweating my nuts off. I'm not wearing a shirt. I was going to put my pyjamas on, but I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to sit here with my trousers and just hope for the best.
Right.
So
Okay.
there we go. That's,
so now we've scared everybody off from listening.
No, or we'll get more listeners, like your PS4 unboxing.
Oh, that's true. The chest hair was doing the favours.
Yeah. I mean, people can't see it; they just have to imagine. I'm sort of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, and you're a bit Pee Wee Herman, but that's fine.
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee. I don't know why I thought Pee Wee Herman.
Right. Okay.
To be fair, I don't think I've got. It's bad. I have no shape. I'm not. Why am I going into this with you? I'm divulging too much.
You're a skinny fucker that no matter what you eat, you're always skinny.
Yeah. I need to put our I was gonna say I need to put our wedding photo, but we went to a wedding recently and someone took I think it was my wife took a photo of both of us, so it was our wedding photo.
It was our wedding. Yeah, you're quite right. Yeah. It was our wedding photo. Yeah, we should put that up on the group.
Yeah, our suited variants, as it were. Yes, I'll sort that out.
I'm pretty sure you were copping a feel at the time.
I probably was. It was a long day. There were many feels to be copped.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, this week's episode is just all about E3.
Yes,
that was this week.
Big E3 day. So it started on Saturday. I think someone started on Saturday.
Early this year. Yeah.
And went through to Tuesday. I think most people were like, "This Tuesday, is our normal. Back to Wednesday." So yeah. So Tuesday was the ending. And there was was there a lot to... People have been saying that there wasn't very many kind of new reveals, whether it's just like a bad E3 this time or whether kind of E3's winding down a bit.
I don't think it was a bad E3. It was a good E3. And there was reveals. It was just mostly indie stuff that was revealed. It wasn't big first party or third party things that were really unveiled. There was a few, but there wasn't many. And like E3 is known to be, this is where you announce everything. This is where we find out all the latest information for the next year and beyond. And it's just not like that anymore because with the rise of the internet and YouTube and developers actually, publishers more than developers, holding their own web press conference stuff, and just you can get directly to the customer straight away. E3 is kind of like they don't really need to do it anymore.
Yeah, I mean now that the internet is a thing, like publishers and developers can reach out to the customer base, sort of whenever they choose. I mean the E3 used to be like bloody printer, like toy fairs of yore. Like store owners would go to a toy fair and they would see all the biggest toys and they would place orders for toys that they would be selling for the next kind of year or so. Yeah, and that's basically what E3 was. But E3 is not that anymore. It's the whole industry's changed. E3's kind of just like a relic of the past.
The thing is, like, as just only like 5-6 years ago, you announcing a title at E3, it was just going to get lost in the shuffle,
Mm.
especially if you're not one of the big players, and you might as well as the years have gone along. They've been announcing their games beforehand or waiting a bit longer, and then just after E3's died off, announce your new games, so you actually get people knowing about it instead of it being lost in the shuffle, which you can understand is a good tactic for the games that will probably just get lost in the shuffle.
A few years ago, well, this is going back a fair few years ago now, there's a developer called Devolver, and I can't for the life of me remember what Devolver made. But they had, I think they were going to have a stand, and then E3 just increased the price suddenly. And they were just like, we can't afford this. So what they did was held their own press conference just outside. So across the street, there was like a vacant lot, and they rented it out and put loads of I guess they're like big caravans, the recreational vehicle things.
The RVs.
Yeah, there you go. So had a load of RVs with like consoles and TVs and things, and held their like own press conferences outside. And then the next year they went to do it again. So E3 hired loads of like shipping containers to make a wall across the road so you couldn't see they were there. So they hired a blimp with Devolver on the side to hover over them, and they still got just as many. But I don't know if they probably weren't there this time, to be honest. But that was going back a few years. So I don't even know what that was in. I don't even know what point I was trying to make there. But I guess the smaller developers can get kind of lost, so they have to kind of put on one of their own shows. And I think it drew their own crowd, so I think they did
the thing
well.
is, like, the actual E3 show floor, it's expensive to exhibit there.
Like really expensive, and it's mainly like Sony and Microsoft, and like Nintendo don't really go.
Nintendo always have a big area so you can play stuff, but they don't like do the press conference there anymore.
Oh right, I thought they'd kind of given up. I know there was a couple of years where they didn't. I don't think they showed up at all, and then just did the directs.
Yeah, the press conference thing is just always direct, but they always have a presence on the show floor.
Okay. God, so I guess we've got quite a lot to talk to, so we might as well just like jump right in.
Yeah.
So the big news was the Xbox Scorpio is officially announced as the Xbox One X.
What do you think of the name?
I guess it kind of makes sense because they had an Xbox One S. And then I guess Xbox One X is kind of extreme, exciting X.
Yeah.
But then if they do a better
X
one,
marks the spot kind of thing.
Yeah.
I quite like the name.
If they do a better one, will it be Xbox One Y, and then Xbox One Z, or will they just drop the one and just be Xbox X?
I imagine the next lot will be. Well, they're kind of taking the one out of the branding now. Anyway, they just call it Xbox anyway.
I think it's always been Xbox. Well, I guess some people called the 360 the 360. But if you just said Xbox, people would understand. I guess people still know. They're saying that someone at work today said, "Oh, my son's running out of room on his like cupboards. Can I put his Xbox on its side?" And I was like, "You want to put an Xbox One on its side?" It's like, "No, 360." I was like, "Okay, fair enough." So I guess there's people that still call it an Xbox.
I've got no problem with the name. I think it's an alright name.
I think it's pretty good. Although if they bring out like a slightly better one, would that be Xbox One X2?
Or Xbox Lightning?
Yeah, Xbox One X 2-3 Lightning Returns. I don't know. I quite like it. I guess I will probably always call it Scorpio now.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to call it X when I've been calling it Scorpio for so long.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But even Phil Spencer was in interviews was having trouble not calling it Scorpio.
I guess people people do get used to calling something, and then it changes its name suddenly, and you've got to try and work it out. But no, I think the name is, I think the name's fine.
Well, to be honest, I've just got used to saying Pro now instead of Neo.
Yeah, I completely forgot that it was called a Neo. That's bad. So yeah, this new Xbox is called the One X. It's basically a much more powerful Pro. I don't want to go into kind of all the specs because
well, Digital Foundry's all done that. So if you really want to go and check out like all the nitty gritty specs, they had an unveil. Just do a Google search for Digital Foundry Xbox One Scorpio.
I mean the specs themselves don't kind of really mean anything. And the worrying thing is they were see developers were kind of making games for the PS4, and they kind of just put the downgraded one on the Xbox One. Now that the Scorpio's come out, all the games on the I call it Scorpio again. Now that all the games on the Xbox have got to be compatible with the One, the S, and the X. Like I guess we are probably going to see sort of like PS4. So there's the PS4 quality games are going to be on the PS4 and the X, with the like Xbox One versions going on the S and the Xbox One. But the X will also be able to play the PS4 Pro patched games, supposedly at a higher frame rate and resolution than the Pro can do.
Yes and no. It all depends on how the developer's done it.
And I mean, it sound well. I know that the like it's not going to be like every game is not going to be sort of 4K 60 on the Xbox One X.
No.
So it will still require the patch that the Pro games require.
If games have got an unlocked frame rate, so like projects, cars, that has a variable frame rate. So on the S, you actually get a couple extra frames because the processor's unlocked on that. So you can actually games will run a little smoother on the S.
Right.
So games like that will work better on Xbox One X straight on because it's a better processor. So you will see differences like that. But for actual 4K textures and resolution upgrades and that kind of stuff, all the games will just have to be patched first. So it's exactly the same situation what the Pro is. All games will run on the X like they normally would. If they don't have anything that's using X features, it will just run like a normal Xbox One game.
See, I guess the one thing is, I mean, PS4 games all tend to run at 1080p.
Yeah, most Xbox One games run at 900.
So does that mean that Xbox One games on an Xbox One X will still run at 900p?
Yes.
Ah, come on. I was hoping that it would at least play games in 1080 because of the additional processing power.
No, unless the game's, like I said, got an unlock feature in it. Halo 5's got that, I believe. Project Cars. But yeah, there's only a few games that actually have that going on.
I would expect that...
So you'll have to get patches for all the games.
I expect that the Microsoft Studio games will have the unlocked frame rate and all these other things because they're cross-play with the PC.
Even if they don't, they're going to be patching them anyway. They've already said like Gears of War 4, they've been showing that off in 4K, just running basically the PC assets on the Xbox X.
I wonder if going forward, the games are like games that get released after the X or the new games will run at 900 on the original Xbox, but will actually play at 1080 on the Xbox One X, because it can't be I mean, they're just basically just putting the PS4 version on the Xbox, surely.
I would think so, but it all depends on how the developer wants to do that, and whether Microsoft are going to demand that you have to have 1080p or whatever. I imagine it would just be exactly the same how it is now. Your game must run on the X as good as an Xbox One, the base model, but you have the ability to scale to whatever machine that you're using. So if your game runs at 900p on the original Xbox, because that's what it runs best at for 30 or 60 frames, whatever you're targeting, on the X you can set it as locked at 1080 if you want to, or you can use the checkerboarding upscaling stuff, or do it as native 4K, whatever works on that console basically.
Yeah, I
That's what it'll be.
I'm hoping it will be that, because I'm not saying that I've not bought games on the Xbox because they are not 1080p. All the games that I've played that have been 900p have been fine, and I've not really kind of noticed any difference. But the extra performance across the board would be good. The higher aspect ratio, I guess. If it plays Xbox games better than my almost launch model Xbox One, then it's a much more tempting kind of proposition. I think based on kind of other things we'll talk about later, I'm still leaning more towards the One X than the PS4.
Yeah.
But I mean, the PS4 Pro it's still a great console, but I don't know.
The other thing that the Xbox X could do, have a feature like the Pro does called Boost Mode, which will brute force a game to help give you more frames per second.
Yeah.
And possibly a graphical update, smooth things out a bit more. Microsoft haven't said anything about whether the console has that kind of feature, or whether it will just brute force the game and make it run better or not. They've not actually said, so there's a possibility of that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
would imagine if it's just designed for the base, it'll run like it is on the base, and then you can have features being used if the developers decide to use it.
I mean, I don't see why. I mean, some games have got what's the word I'm looking for? Like a graphic settings. I think there's a couple of games out there that do it, so you can have it at 1080p and a slightly slower frame rate, or 900 and a slightly faster frame rate.
Yeah, like Tomb Raider.
Is it Tomb Raider? Does that have it?
Tomb Raider does that for the Pro. You can have it. I think they've got 3 settings. They've got the 4K, which is 800p, then checkerboarded to 4K, or which is running at 30, or you could have. I think it's 1080 with anti-aliasing and all the works going on, running at 30 FPS, or you can have it at 1080p. Running at 60 FPS, something like that. I can't quite remember what it is, but it gives you 3 different modes you can choose from.
Yeah, and I hopefully all Xbox games in future will come with that sort of thing baked in.
Yeah, I would hope so. I'm not sure if it's going to be a compliance issue thing for Microsoft or not. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, they are. It sounds like they are really pushing this. But the one thing that I want kind of more than anything is for all games that are on the Xbox to be like cross-play with PC. Like I don't see why we're not doing that yet.
A few of them are now. You can play. I think you can play Halo Wars 2 cross-platform.
Yeah,
You can play Gears of War 4 cross-platform.
I mean, the Microsoft Studios definitely you can.
Yeah.
But like the other games, so like the new, I guess FIFA still comes out on PCs. Like why can FIFA not play? I mean, I guess it.
Oh, that's totally up to the devs to do that.
I think Microsoft should push it a lot more, because it's basically the Xbox One X is it's a PC in a box. It's now more than ever like a PC in a box. So it should. I mean, it's definitely got the power. It's got lots. It used to be that, consoles were fairly underpowered and PCs were kind of like the much more powerful, like bigger brother. But now it's just they are so on par. They might as well just.
The only game that's truly done cross-platform, which includes everything, is Rocket League.
Yeah, I guess it has, and it's
I'm just not sure if Xbox and PlayStation owners can play against each other on Rocket League, but PlayStation PC, Xbox PC, Switch PC, they'll all do it.
Yeah, and it's like Xbox, Switch, like all of them can play together. PlayStation, I think, is the no, I'm thinking Minecraft. So PCs, Xboxes, Switches, they can all play Minecraft together. Sony's still not. We'll talk about that again in a little bit. But yeah, so far for me, it's very it's looking much more likely that I'll get an X. But not out until November. And there's kind of still so much to know about it. We know what it looks like. We know the specs. We know how the games will sort of look. But how the sodding thing will actually work has not really been kind of gone into yet. So hopefully we'll get to hear some more kind of concrete news soon.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm sure there'll be dripping news feeds constantly until it comes out.
Yeah, and I mean, November, what's it now? May, so it's June, July, August, September, October, like 5 months.
Yeah.
So I bet it'll be like November 11th, which is, I think, the original release date of the first Xbox.
Well, they said November 7th it's coming out.
Is it? Or maybe it's November 7th. I don't know. Maybe 11th's a weird day. Anyway, so November 7th. Look forward to it. Put it in your calendars. Anything else to add?
Not at this point, no.
No, they took the little LCD screen off it. I liked the little LCD screen.
That's just for dev purposes.
I know, but it was cool. They should have just left it there. Could you imagine just like, well, I don't know why you'd have it, but you'd be watching a film, or like listening to music on it, and you'd get like the little equalizer, or the film would have an equalizer, or it'd tell you what song's playing, or it's only really useful for music.
Everyone just wants it for the FPS counter, that's all.
Yes. Oh God, everyone just wants the FPS. That would be really cool. But yeah, so the next one, which I heard about it, I was like, this is stupid. Then about 5 minutes later, I have to own this.
Honestly, I thought this would be what you'd be most interested in.
I
thought this was awesome.
I'm really excited about this. So, original Xbox games are going to be made backwards compatible for the Xbox One X or Xbox One everything. So all the original Xbox games have potentially can be ported. The first one I think is Crimson Sky, which people
that's
still go on about. People love that game.
That's all we know at the moment.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not going to be one of these things where it's just like, as soon as we press this button, everyone can play every Xbox game there ever is.
No, it's all down to licensing. Like some of those games that were made, the studios don't exist anymore. The publishers don't exist anymore. Some of those games were, the licensing for those games would have ran out years ago. So it's not as simple as just going, oh yeah, that will go on, that'll work.
Yeah, and it's It sounds like it's another one of these, like the Xbox 360 games. It's a like a one-to-one kind of thing. So you've got to set up so this, like, each individual game can be played.
Probably. Yeah.
So that's, I mean, there's hope. There's hope. There's a lot of great games on the Xbox. There's a lot of terrible games on the Xbox. But hopefully, and I don't see why they won't do this. Stubbs the Zombie in, what is it? Rebel Without a something.
I don't know.
Rebel Without a Heartbeat. There we go. So it's a game where you play as a zombie, and kind of mind control humans to become your slaves, and you send them off to go and fight, and it's such an entertaining game. And it was developed by Bungie. So I kind of don't see why. Well, it'll have been developed by Bungie when they were still on Microsoft Studios. So I guess technically Microsoft own it. But yeah, it's easily one of the best games on the Xbox.
I never actually played it.
Now we are going to do a Let's Play thing. I don't think it's that long. So we could probably start one afternoon and finish it in a day.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll have to play that.
What is great about this is you can just stick your disc into the drive and it'll work.
So no downloading, or do you still have to download it like you do with the 360?
Probably have to download it, but if you have the disc, you'll be able to put the disc in and then download the game, play it, and then obviously you'll need the disc to actually carry on playing with it. But
yeah, I mean, I guess the disc is the license, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's cool. Also, I was watching an interview with Phil Spencer on GameSpot, and he was talking about the backwards compatibility, and he was saying that he really wants to bring it to the PC, which would be really cool.
Would that be hard though? I don't see why that would be any harder than it would be bringing it to.
Well, don't forget the console's a closed system, so you can create the emulator, and you've only got one set of I say one set, but there's only a couple of variants in the consoles to actually get it working. So it's much easier to get those games working on that emulator when you've only got certain bits to sort out. Yeah. Whereas the PC, there's so many variables on it that it's a lot harder to do that kind of emulation.
See, I heard that there's not an original Xbox emulator, not specifically because it's tough, but because no one wanted one.
I don't believe that's true. Why would not? What? I want one.
Yeah. Here we go. So there is, an Xbox emulator made in Delphi. That sounds awful. First ever real Xbox emulator, and the emulator that came out as a surprise for all somehow. So there's at least 3.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd be definitely down for it coming on PC.
Yeah, it's I mean, I really enjoy. Some of the games are amazing. What were we playing recently? The Dead or Alive game.
Oh god, yeah, that looks so good still.
Yeah, it looked good. It plays incredibly. I also just soft modded one of my 3 Xboxes, and I've ordered a component cable. Didn't know they made component cables.
Yeah. And
did you know, this is a fun one, that American Xboxes could play some games in 1080p?
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I know, right? No, it's not 1080p, it's 1080i. But it's still 1080. And with a soft modded Xbox, you can force all games to output in 1080. So I'll soon be playing 1080 Xbox, and apparently they look incredible still.
Cool.
The assets are probably not that great. The graphics are probably a bit pants, but
well, the games were designed with 480p in mind. So.
To be able to force them to 1080 is going to be super fun. Anything else? Any other Xbox games you think should make the list?
Well, things like Halo and stuff are all going to be made, aren't they?
Oh Christ! Another version of Halo. I'm sick of it.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'll play it again.
I can't think offhand what games I'd want. We'd have to do a separate podcast for that.
Yeah. Just off the top of my head, we've got Panzer Dragoon Auto. That'll be a good one. There's a game that we were talking about at the weekend, oddly enough, that I'd completely forgotten the name of, and it's Gun Valkyrie. So it's kind of a like steampunk mech suit. It was really weird, but it's just a spectacular game. RPGs, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Sudeki, Jade Empire.
They're all like 3 for me, I think.
Yeah, so there's tons of games, some really amazing ones. And the best way to play these original Xbox games, onto our next item, is the original Duke controller, which is the controller that's the size of a small car with a little fishbowl in the middle.
The big old fat one.
Yeah. remade by Hyperkin for the Xbox One and PC. It'll have a rechargeable battery in it. It'll be USB micro powered and charged. And for me,
that's pretty cool news, I guess.
For me, it's one of the best controllers I've ever really played with. Short of the GameCube. GameCube controller is by far the best. But yeah, the Duke controller. I love the Duke controller. It's such a good controller.
It was alright, but I definitely preferred the S.
The S controller, I guess, kind of. Well, they made it for the Japanese market. And then people were just like, I want this over here. So Microsoft released it worldwide, and it quickly became the de facto pack-in controller.
Yeah.
But I've still got several Dukes around, and I don't know why I just like them so much. They were the size of a small car. But yeah, looks great, looks spectacular. It's exactly the same as the original one, but just wireless. And that'll be usable on the PC and Xbox, and you can guarantee I'll be getting one on day one. And if it's compatible with all Xbox One games, which it probably won't be.
No, probably not.
No, that's a shame. Just because it has the two triggers, it doesn't have the 2 shoulder buttons. Foregoing that, it has a black and white button. But no, it should do. It's still got the same amount of buttons. We'll see. We will have to see. But it looks incredible. Anything else? I'm just going to ask you this after everyone. Have you got anything else to add? If it comes in the original packaging, by God, I'm going to own 2.
No, it's cool for people that like that controller. I didn't really care for it, so.
No one really cares for you.
True.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. Oh, the game we've been waiting decades to hear about. That bastard Michael Ansel will tease us with a picture, or he'll say we're still doing it, but now he's shown us something like real.
He showed us another CG trailer.
Yeah, showed us another CG trailer. Although there was he was showing off gameplay behind the scenes.
Okay.
So yeah, the
trailer looked really cool.
It's stunningly beautiful. It starts off with kind of like a Chinese pig buying a like little golden pig statue, and then like a Cockney monkey kind of whips him off and runs off and flies away with a black girl and a fro in a flying scooter. Just so pretty, so amazingly good looking. But yeah, Michael Ansel was saying that you are going to be able to create your own character. How that will
work, which is
actually
quite cool.
Yeah, how that will work, I don't know. Now, the important thing to note, this is a prequel to the original, so kind of it really doesn't matter who you are. It's not like you're kind of playing as Jade still, but you get to create your own character. It's just a prequel to it. So whether this leads up to Jade's birth, we don't know. So, yeah, you get to create your own character. It will have multiplayer, but how that will work is, as yet, I think, undecided. He was saying that kind of a lot of the artwork and the assets are subject to change, but it's very...
No more changes, do it.
Yeah, just finish the sodding thing. So it's kind of like spaceships and like flying cities and like the one, obviously the Chinese pig area had like a really heavy like oriental like influence.
Do you know what really shocked me? The amount of bad language in it.
Yeah, it really swears a lot in it. I was watching it at work and he says something like, "Whoa, no." I had to pause it and put headphones in. But yeah, the one thing that the guy who was writing this article said, like, thoroughly amazed him, was at one point Michelangelo paused the demo, opened up the console, typed in like a command to change the time, and like day turned into night, and it was just like, oh, all right, that's fair enough. And he's like, no, I've not changed the time, I've moved the planet. So there is a sun, all of the planets spin on their own axis at different speeds. All of them revolve around the sun at their own speeds. Every sunset you see is actually the planet turning out of view of the sun. Every sunrise is it turning back to... And it's just... It was like, never has a game done that. Like, never.
That's awesome.
It doesn't happen. It's not the skybox just changing the texture. It's just physically changing. And that's
cool.
Yeah, amazing. And he says there's like lots of planets. They all do the same thing. And I guess that's the power of the consoles nowadays. But really, it's only kind of like game physics. But it's still amazing what they've done with it.
That is really cool.
It really, really cool.
I'm really looking forward to seeing some more stuff on this and see what they're actually, what the game's actually about, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've kind of released anything, like any story bits, but...
No, not that I've seen, no.
The short demo that this guy had played, he said he was playing as the monkey from the trailer. And he was driving along on a scooter and a police cruiser thing popped up next to him. So he used his like chain fist thing to connect to the police cruiser, jump across onto it, open the hatch, throw the policeman out, steal the police car, and then drive through town with his sirens on and all the cars moved out of the way and all the policemen kind of let him pass. But they were saying it sort of feels at the minute like Grand Theft Auto with like monkeys and flying cars. But yeah, I think it looks incredible. It sounds like it'll be an incredible game. Genuinely, I've been waiting decades. Well, not decades, years and years and years. It's got to be over a decade.
15 years.
Yeah, just for anything. I loved the first game.
Yeah, the first game was really cool. I am definitely interested in this game, but what I'm actually more interested in is them doing a documentary about it and how many changes it went through. And
I'd love to see the
when
originals.
eventually they settled down and said, right, this is what we're going to do.
From what I could gather, he said that they'd agreed that they were going to do one a long time ago. They had some kind of like preliminary ideas a while back and some very early kind of like, we'll use the original characters and create a new game engine for this new console to see if it would work. But the current, like, it's actually only been in like full-time development for the last couple of years. So I think it's...
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It was probably something limiting by the console power and
Yeah,
Now they've actually got the power to do it.
he obviously had big plans for it and didn't want
Yeah.
to make the game half-arsed, and didn't want to just release a 2 before he could make the one he wanted to make as 3. So, but yeah, looks. I can't even begin to say how excited I am for this. I just want it now. Sort of like when Cartman was waiting for a Wii in South Park, so he froze himself.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm looking at my freezer thinking, I'll just take the drawers out of this. I could sit next to the fish fingers. Yeah, I can't go on about this anymore, so it'll depress me. But yeah, looks good. Looks incredible. Monster Hunter. It's finally coming to consoles. Well, I say finally coming back to consoles.
Well, more PlayStation console than anything.
Well, the original was on the PS2.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So, yeah, it's I don't think Xbox has never seen a Monster Hunter as far as I'm aware. There might have been one on the 360 in Japan.
I don't believe so.
I'm not sure.
Because they're on the PSP, and then they went to the DS, and you could play the third game on the Wii U.
Oh no, they made one for the Wii called Monster Hunter Try. That came in like big treasure chest with the.
That's also on the Wii U as well. It was an upgrade.
Was that the first time? Was that the first game that came with the? I think that's the first one that came with the Pro controller. If my memory serves.
I can't remember.
No,
I mean, I had it on my Wii U. I didn't really play much of it.
No, I mean,
I've always liked the concept of Monster Hunter. I've just never really been bothered by the actual game, though.
I've always really, really, really wanted to get into it, but I find it just next to impossible to play on like a handheld. I think it really, really kind of crippled itself. I mean, obviously it was a big thing in Japan because everyone has a handheld, and they will all play like out in the street, and other people will join them. And it kind of becomes like a community there, but
it sold a shitload in Japan.
It's always like topping the charts, but here we just kind of don't have that. There was like I bought one. Oh, what did I buy? I bought a Monster Hunter for my 3DS. When I first bought my 3DS, I'm going to play the shit out of this game, but you couldn't play it online because it didn't have online functionality. I think you could play it online if you played it. There was some kind of weird piggybacking off the Wii, so you had to have a Wii and then have that connected to the internet and then download an app on the Wii and then connect your 3DS to the Wii for the Wii to... It was just such a dick move way of doing it. And I kind of instantly lost interest because it's really hard as well. They're really obtuse. Nothing's really user friendly. They're always a nightmare to get into. It's really grindy. And it's just kind of just like a really hardcore game, but still one that I've always wanted to get into and just never have had the chance to. But now that it's going to be on the PS4, I think I'm going to be kind of much more into it. Well, I guess now that it's going to be on the Xbox One, because it sounds like the X is going to be my console of choice for that game. But yeah, it looked really good. There was a video of like a guy tracking a dinosaur. They're always kind of dinosaurs rather than monsters. So there's a guy tracking a dinosaur, and he'd like throw like luminescent pouches that would light up like a scent trail, and he followed that through the jungle, and then put on a ghillie suit and kind of crept around the side of this dinosaur as it was like picking up his scent and looking for him.
It definitely has all the weird Monster Hunter things going on. It looked really interesting. I don't think I'll be playing this game though.
Well, like I said, I really want to get into it, but they are so difficult to get into. I'm kind of not sure, because like I say, I know I've played them before and never really got into them, but hopefully if it's online multiplayer, I can find a couple of people that are kind of into it and know what to do, and then I can just kind of tag along with them and like get my enjoyment that way.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else I can add to this.
No, it's Monster Hunter, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's some big ass monsters. You hunt them with a big ass fucking sword.
It's kind of a big deal that it's kind of coming to consoles other than internet. I'm not even sure this one's coming out on the Switch. I think.
I don't think it was announced for that. It was PS4 and Xbox, wasn't it?
I think the Switch is getting a remake of another game, and it sounds like the Monster Hunter fans are really having a hard time with it. But you know, the reason a lot of people haven't got into it is because it is a handheld only game, and now hopefully more people will get into it.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully it'll be good then.
Yeah, hopefully. Ni no Kuni 2. Did you play the original Ni no Kuni? Have we spoken about Ni no Kuni?
I started to play it. Oh, excuse me. I started to play it, but it's a JRPG, and I'm just not that into those kind of games.
It is a JRPG. It's basically Pokemon.
The art style looks amazing.
Yeah, the art is phenomenal. It's done by
so good. It looks
Studio
just
Ghibli.
It looks just like their movies. It's incredible.
Yeah, the art style was really good. This one has not got It's not got Studio Ghibli involved, but the animators who worked on the original Ni no Kuni have come back to work on it. So although they don't work for Ghibli anymore, it's still a Ghibli game.
Is it? I'm trying to remember who it is. Is it Factor 5?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so. Yeah, because they did the Professor Layton games.
Professor Layton games
they
are
were really cool.
Spectacular as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's I mean, there's really little, not that much it's not that much that we know about it yet. I think the story involves kind of like a new king who is like a boy king who is trying to like find his way, and then a like high school student from our universe somehow ends up in his and kind of teaches him how to be a man or something. Again, it's still kind of really early. There's been no real gameplay footage that I'm aware of, so I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be another like Pokemon kind of monster taming game. I kind of hope it's not because I
imagine it will be, because you don't want to fuck off the fans, basically. People will be expecting that.
I think the first Ni no Kuni game was a DS Japan only release, and I think that still had the like monster taming.
Yeah, the PS3 version was just basically an up-resed version of the DS game.
I think the story was a bit different, but I think mechanically,
on that, but yeah, it was basically the same.
I think mechanically it was the same. So yeah, that's November 10th.
That's not that long as well, is it?
No, I mean, is that just going to be PS4? Is that going to be a PlayStation exclusive? Because the last one was. Will it be out on the Xbox? I guess at the minute we just have no idea.
Well, you can definitely say it'd be a PlayStation 4 game, that's for sure.
Definitely on the PlayStation 4. Will it make Xbox One? Who knows? I think does Sony own Factor 5? No, if Sony owned Factor 5, we wouldn't get Professor Layton. And I think the Ace Attorney and Phoenix Wright games are also Factor 5, because there was a Ace Attorney Professor Layton crossover, so that's... No, one's owned by a different company.
I really can't remember. I don't think they are, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure they are. Anyway, BioWare's new game. I said I wanted to hear about this, and we heard about it. Game called Anthem. which is I don't even know.
See, I describe this game as it's Horizon Zero Dawn meets Destiny meets Mass Effect.
I think that sounds fair.
Yeah, because I mean, you've got the planet, whatever planet they're on, and it's all very tree based, hiding in bushes and stuff.
Very kind of primitive. Even the city looks very primitive, despite the fact they have like robot suits.
Yeah, and you've got creatures roaming around and stuff. So that's very Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And then the suits and the guns look very much like Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way the game just looks in general, it looks very Mass Effect, very BioWare.
Yes, very BioWare-esque. I think it looks great. I think it looks amazing.
Incredible. It looks amazing. The demo that they showed where they just jump off with their jetpacks and just start flying around and stuff. It looks so good. The jetpacks look amazing as well.
Yeah, the suits. I guess. I suppose the world's going to be fairly big, so you need that to move around.
It definitely looks like it's going to be an open world type game.
Yeah, definitely very open world. There was
and also you've got the loot. You've got the loot as well, so that's very Destiny.
There was like the one bit I really liked was they were flying to their objective to do their mission, and they stopped while this giant monkey fought some like big dog things, and then they. Like after the fight, the giant monkey thing sort of spotted this woman and charged at her, and she jumped off another cliff and flew away. And I love that the like dynamic, like even the NPCs in the world can fight each other if you're there to see it.
That's cool.
Like the last game that I think.
The bit where after when she's flying around, and then you've got some other I'm going to call them heroes, and other people in suits come along, and then they're on the UI. I wonder if they're actual people or it was just AI. I wasn't 100% clear on that. It looked like it could have been that it's an online game as well, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a 4-player online co-op. It's basically Destiny. So I mean, I expect they were. But you could also have...
It looks like you can just meet up though. It's not like you have to load into the same level and go on. It's like or maybe you do load in, but you can go off and do your own thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just the way they meet up is like they're kind of like, oh hi guys, kind of.
I'm hoping it's a bit more kind of massively multiplayer than like very kind of instanced areas. So you have to be in a party to be able to see certain people.
Yeah.
If it is like massively multiplayer, that would be incredible. But yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing what more they have to share about Anthem, because everything so far just looks so good.
Yeah, I mean they did like Digital Foundry had was Anthem really running at 4K on a Xbox One X?
Yeah, I haven't watched that video yet.
I didn't watch the video, but I read the like article with it, and they were saying that there was some kind of definite stuttering in places, so it probably wasn't running at like 60 frames per second, or had some like dips quite a lot.
Yeah, well, they have a video with the new Assassin's Creed game, and they were saying this is probably checkerboarding. They're probably rendering it at 2160, but it's checkerboarding up.
Yeah, they said that Anthem was likely checkerboarding because there was like at some places you can see that kind of alternate frames are like different, like things are like different, or it shows very obvious artifacts of checkerboarding, but the fact is the pixels at that sort of size would be so small you really couldn't, unless you knew what you were looking for, you'd struggle to notice it.
Yeah, that's it. I think the Xbox X is going to be capable of doing 4K, like the Pro is capable of doing 4K output, but it's just depending how that game and how much is going on in that game, whether you have an actual 4K output or not.
Like with the Pro, really, it's the like Sony Studios that know how to optimize it correctly and get that extra. And in the same way with Microsoft, I've got a feeling that the Microsoft Studios will be kind of native 4K 60, like for Forza 7. Yeah, so that's. It just looks amazing. It looks really good. I really like the kind of like jungle aesthetic. I bet we'll get other areas where some will be jungle, some will be sand, some will be snow.
I just going back to the resolution output. I think most third-party games will probably be doing checkerboarding.
I would be shocked if they didn't. Certainly, games that are cross-platform will be doing checkerboarding. Unless they have an individual patch for the Xbox One X, the PS4 Pro, and then everything else.
Yeah.
But who knows?
We'll see later. We'll see later on when they actually start coming out. But yeah, I imagine first parties will probably be going for an actual 4K. Whereas the others will probably be doing checkerboard.
Yeah, really. Either way, exciting times, exciting game. Fingers crossed we get to see more. Metroid Prime 4 is announced. I said it was announced. They showed a number 4.
And it said Metro next to it.
Did it actually say Metroid on it?
It did, yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be good, but yeah, there's nothing on that whatsoever.
Yeah, people lost their shit. I'm not really sure why.
Metroid's very, very popular, isn't it?
Yeah, like Metroid Prime was fine. I think the second one was fine. Again, it's sort of one of these things where you have to be an absolute fanatic and love everything, including all the Metroid pinball games, to get really excited about it at this stage. It will be a Switch exclusive. There's no.
Oh yeah, of course. It's a Nintendo game. So.
Yeah, there's no ifs and buts about that. Yeah, that was it. There's nothing. They showed nothing. They didn't show Samus. They didn't. You don't know if she's wearing a suit. If she's Zero Suit Samus in some of it, who knows?
I'm looking forward to seeing what they have on that, but I don't think we'll see anything on that for quite a while.
No, I think it's going to be a while. Unless it's one of those things where like we're already finished, but we're just going to tease it. Shadow of the Colossus.
I don't know if I'm excited or not about this.
Oh, did you ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
I did. It was wicked.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's not an HD. It's not an HD
it's an actual
remaster.
remake.
It's a full, flat-out remake. But I don't know if Shadow of the Colossus worked because it was the first of its kind. And now that this one's just going to be like, oh yeah, it's another Shadow of the Colossus game.
I still haven't played the other game. What's it called?
Ico, Last Guardian.
No, not Ico.
The Last Guardian.
Last Guardian, yeah.
I've not played it, but
I
apparently
still need to get around to playing that.
Yeah.
So I'm indifferent with this at the moment. It's cool that they're doing it, but I'm also at the same time like, okay.
I'm really looking forward to it. I played the first one. I played Shadow of the Colossus when I bought the remaster on the PS3. And I adored it. I thought it was great. I thought the horse was just the right amount of loyal horse and dickhead animal. I thought the visuals were great. I thought the story was basically non-existent, but you kind of fill in the blanks yourself, and it's incredible. I like the idea of like you don't level up, you don't get items, you get no better at you are no more powerful at the beginning of the game than you are at the end. You just go. It's basically a puzzle game where you work out how to climb these giant monsters and how to kill them before you die.
Yeah, it's traditional gaming. That's what it is.
It's just such a good idea, and people still love the original game, and I'm not shocked. But
Oh yeah, it would definitely sell. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that.
yeah, I am looking forward to it. I will definitely play it because it's kind of such a staple of like modern gaming now. It kind of there's something about it that kind of made that generation special. So yeah, I think it was well worth playing. But you know how like into it I get is to be seen, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I may end up picking it up. I don't know. I think it's cool that they are definitely that they're doing it. It was a really cool game. I don't know.
just
Basically,
don't know how to feel about it yet.
No, I don't know.
There was right. So onto the sort of cross-play thing that we were talking about a little bit earlier. There was a guy from Sony, I don't remember who it was, who was kind of like laying out their stance on crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
And here's, I mean, this is not kind of quoted, but like really the gist of what he said and meant. And it was that they've got a responsibility to protect gamers on their service, and the way to protect the gamers on their service is to kind of keep them inside their own ecosystem. So, in a way, I agree. Once you kind of open up your service to like other people, then it can get, you don't know who who you're kind of dealing with, but at the same time, like there is a whole gamut of dodgy people and young children on your service. To say that, oh no, I won't let you play with Nintendo games because I don't know what they're like. I mean, I know what the people in the PS4 community are like, and I wouldn't trust my children with them. So that's it's kind of a non-argument from the start.
It's probably just to be honest. I mean that's a fair point, I guess. But I think it just more stems down to when they were hacked and the servers were taken down and credit card details were stolen, that kind of thing. When you open things up a bit more, it becomes more chance of that thing happening again, and they definitely don't want that happening again. I think it's more protection. I think that's what they're what they're worried about.
I'm sure that's probably involved in it as well. But then even Microsoft was just like, oh yeah, if you start doing this, then you're cutting out ecosystems for people to get together, and like,
which is true as well. It's true.
But a few years ago,
if you open it up, you have more people to play against. So, I mean, think about the games you try to play online where there's not many people on, and you've got to split up between different platforms as well. If you can actually bring them together, at least there's more players to play against and keep the game alive for longer.
Yeah. But I mean, it really has not very much. Well, I don't know if it doesn't really have much to do with kind of what we're talking about, but I say not long ago. This has to be, Christ, how many years ago would this be? I bet it's coming up to 20 years ago. Microsoft turned off all of their chat rooms to protect people because there were some very dodgy dealings going on. And people were getting hurt. So to turn around and say, oh no, you shouldn't turn things off because people might get hurt. That's exactly what Microsoft did. But no, that's sort of by the by. I'm not surprised they turned the website, the chat rooms off, because there was some very dodgy things going on. But no, I'm all for, like, it sounds like Microsoft want to kind of get more cross-play with Nintendo. How that will work, I don't know. So it's likely Rocket League will go on the Switch, and then they'll be able to play with them. It's definitely happening with Minecraft. Halo is not going to turn up on the Switch. Smash Brothers is not going to turn up on the Xbox One.
No. It won't be stuff. It's just third-party games. It's not first party.
So a couple of I bet sports games are going to do it. But yeah, I don't see why they the games that are on both shouldn't be kind of cross-play. I do kind of like that. I like when I was playing Gears of War and I was like, oh, this guy's on a PC. Look at this guy on the PC. This guy on the PC is playing with me. This is cool. And I guess that's the one thing I want to see Microsoft do more of, like cross-play with PCs.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly because you and Rob, the artist, you're going to be playing more on the PC. If I can buy the Xbox game still, and continue to play with you guys, that would be great. I was having...
It's the chat that I'd be interested in to see how... I don't think we'll be able to chat to each other. We'd have to just Skype.
Yeah, or I think you can use Discord. I think Discord's a thing. I'm not really sure what it does. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows how it will work yet? But yeah, I think it's I was having... I want to say I was having an argument. I was talking to people on Reddit about digital games, and why digital games are still a thing. And there were a couple of people that were like, yeah, no, that makes sense. But there was one guy who just refused to accept that, kind of what I was saying. So I was kind of saying that the reason... He was saying that once you get rid of discs, digital downloads will become a lot cheaper. And I agreed from the start. I said, yeah, I agree, but we can't get rid of discs because, and these are the reasons. And then it was like, yeah, but if we got rid of the discs, I was like, but we can't get rid of the discs because of these reasons. And it got to the stage where I said, look, if you didn't have very much money and the only way you could buy new games was to trade in your old games, and then all of a sudden someone said, no, discs are worthless, we're not taking them anymore. How would you play games? Would you even play games anymore? And what if you lived in a small town where the fastest internet speed you could get is 10 meg? How long? It would take days to download a game. Would you still be bothered to download a game? And he was just like, well, if I couldn't afford games, why'd I buy a console? I'm like, well, there's lots of reasons why you'd buy it. You want to play games, but can't. And he didn't kind of really understand, and we were just kind of arguing in circles. So in the end, I just had to leave it. But yeah, most people kind of got that. These companies still need brick and mortar stores. But yeah, if I'm not even sure where the point of this conversation was going. If digital was cheaper, I'd buy more digital games. Now that sort of all games, if you buy a game digitally on the Xbox, you can play it on the PC as well through their store. I'm probably more likely to buy digital games. Digital games have been becoming cheaper. I mean, Halo Wars 2 was a good example today. So the disc was £22. The digital download was £45. But there is a place.
Well, the massive difference is between digital and physical is after a while shops need to start lowering the price so they can get rid of their stock, because obviously they've got so many in. With digital, you never have to do that because you just have the one copy on the server. That's done.
Yeah, and the games are usually always full RRP, whereas the physical copies are never full RRP.
No, the shops reduce the price a little.
But yeah, I mean, there's places selling the digital download code now for £25, so you can get them, but yeah, hopefully.
I mean, the thing is, you can always wait for the things like the Steam sale or Black Friday sales or whatever, or just wait for the game to go on sale. You don't have to buy it at full price.
No.
It just means you have to wait. That's all.
But then, like games that are like here's the bit I don't really kind of get. So like Steam games are generally like fairly cheap anyway. Microsoft games, do they sell Microsoft games in Steam?
There's some games on there, yeah.
I assume they do.
Not many, because they're doing it for their own store. But what's it called? Quantum Break. That's on Steam. Hello Wars is on Steam.
But like, I have to imagine that they are probably like still full RRP on Steam. Because they're not going to say, oh yeah, Steam, you can sell this game for, or sorry, Valve, you can sell this game for £25.
Valve doesn't set the price. It's the publishers that set the price.
So the publishers are still going to say, right, £45.
Yeah,
and
it's whatever they decide.
It's just not going to be cheap. Whereas I can go and get the disc and play it much less. And I can see Microsoft are like, yeah, but you get 2 versions of the game, one for the PC as well. I don't want 2 fucking versions. Sell me one version. Sell me the Xbox code for half the price of the Xbox and the PC. I don't know.
But then you don't have your crossplay then.
Yeah. Well, you
will have crossplay. What I mean is you'll play anywhere.
Yeah. I don't really care about the play anywhere. If I can play it in one place is fine. I don't need to play anywhere.
I don't agree with you that digital prices will be cheaper if you get rid of discs. They won't. They'll be still what they are now. That won't change. But I reckon you'll find them on offer more often.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Microsoft suddenly said, right, we're not doing discs anymore, you have to buy games digitally, and said, right, all games are £45, then I think people would quickly just be like, I'm not paying that much for a game, and then move somewhere else. If Sony and Microsoft got together and said, hey, let's stop making discs, and then both of them said, right, no more discs, all games £45, then you'd probably get away with it. But I think that
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, his argument was, now that PC games aren't in shops, which they're not really, the prices have dropped.
No, they haven't. They've gone up.
They have gone up recently, yeah. So, I'm not really sure what I kind of saw. Well, they've only really gone up to the in-store price for, like console games. So most games come out at like $39.99, whereas
they've gone up to that price.
Digital console games
they've gone up at basically a tenner.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess it's a tough subject. One that I dare say economists have been thinking about for a long time, and I'm dangerously underqualified to comment on. But yeah, here's hoping that the digital prices get cheaper for consoles, because I think they're really expensive.
I suppose we should carry on with E3.
Yeah, God, okay. Life is Strange prequel.
Yes, very
good. Life is not as strange.
Very looking forward to this.
Not bothered at all, in the slightest.
No, well, I loved the first series. Was so good. It's probably my favourite game of that style by far.
Right.
It was incredible. This is a prequel to that, and there's only going to be 3 episodes, and it's going to be focusing on the girl that you weren't playing as, which was Chloe, because you played as Max in the first game. But this one you actually get to play as Chloe, and it's set before all this shit went down in the first one. So there's not going to be any of the main mechanic's not going to be there. So that is going to be interesting, because one of the selling points of that is that you could rewind time and we could redo things. You're not going to be able to do this. So I get the impression. I deliberately haven't watched too much on this, because I want to experience it when I actually play it. But what it looks like is you have split second type choices where you make a choice and that's it. Once you've made that choice, you cannot go back in time and then switch to another choice if you don't like the outcome or whatever, or you've done something wrong. Yeah. Which fits within Chloe's personality, because she's just a bit of a hot-head and goes straight into things and doesn't really think things through. So that makes sense within the character. I'm just interested if it's going to have the same appeal as the last game.
Yeah,
I really hope so. Unfortunately, the voice actor Ashley Birch, she's not doing the voice for Chloe because she's on some kind of fucking strike or something.
Yeah, the writer
Voice actor
strike.
Yeah. So, but she has been on there helping with the script and stuff and saying, what Chloe would do and what she wouldn't do, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean
it's only 3 episodes. And then if you buy the digital deluxe version, you get another episode, which is where you play as Max again, and that's set again before the first game. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about it, but I'm also really excited about it.
It's a difficult second album in that the first one was so good, the second one almost can't match up with it.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they're making A Life is Strange 2, but I'm really hoping it doesn't feature these characters because their story's done.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I didn't really play the first one, so maybe.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm just a little skeptical if how it's going to turn out.
Yeah. Here's hoping it comes out quite nicely. So on to a game that you were telling me all about, and I'm still kind of not sure about. I watched a couple of trailers and still I'm not convinced I know what the hell is going on. A Way Out is a prison break game that is designed to be played in co-op only and is always in split screen, so you always see what the other person's doing.
It's actually really cool on how it does that because it splits up, obviously split screen, it splits up the screen between the two players' viewpoints, but it will enlarge and take different types of shapes on for each character depending on what's going on at the time.
Yeah.
So if you obviously one player is going to need a bigger part of the screen to see something, like maybe they're having to work out some kind of puzzle where they've got to read something, so obviously the screen will be better, whereas the other one's just keeping a lookout maybe and they're just in a smaller section of the screen. I thought that was a fantastic idea of how to do that.
Yeah, like a dynamically split screen with different sizes, and in some places it kind of makes it look like you're in panels of a comic book.
Yes, it really does, yeah. It's a very interesting way of doing that. I'm wondering how dynamic that is. Like if maybe I can move out of one area and it will start to enlarge or decrease or something, or it's just kind of in a set area this will happen and then you go to next and then it will change. I'm not sure if it's going to be that dynamic. It probably won't be.
No, I imagine that it changes in very kind of specific places and parts of the story.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I mean,
but there's like in the trailers a really cool part where one of the guys is in like I forgot what they're called, but it's a big closed basket,
like
thing
a laundry bin trolley
and
thing.
He's looking out the slit as he's being walked by the other guy through the prison, and then he gets left in a room and the other guy walks off, so then when the room's clear the other one can get out and start doing stuff. There's going to be loads of stuff like that. It's going to be really cool.
I mean, it certainly looks pretty interesting. I don't know, did they say how long the game was going to be?
No, they didn't know.
I don't imagine that it'd be
from the guys who created I always
Brothers?
fuck up the title. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons or something I think it's called.
Yeah.
You see, that wasn't a cult game, but you played two characters at the same time, which was really cool.
I imagine that. I mean, that one was only 4 or 5 hours long. So is this one
it was only 4 hours,
short or?
The cool thing about that game is they told a story without having any audio whatsoever, and you had to do things together. So they've got they're very good at storytelling, and they know how to do co-op stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this game.
Yeah, I might. I'll need someone to play it in co-op with, and it's probably going to be you. So We'll.
Yeah, I'm probably going to play through this game twice. So I'm going to play it with my mate, another friend of mine as well. I was like, shut up and take my money already. So yeah, I'll be playing through this game a few times, I think.
So, on to the last bit.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah, I didn't see anything about it. Well, I say I didn't see anything about it. I saw people talking about it, and there was kind of videos and pictures, but I didn't go into it. Because
it's been made by Insomniac, so
it's basically going to be crap. What was that game?
Infamous.
There we go. It's going to be Infamous with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Which I'm happy about. The thing that they showed at the press conference, it was very there was a lot of quick time stuff going on, so it was heavily scripted, but it was really cool. The game looks very much like a Batman game, only with Spider-Man, which I'm all for.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Arkham Asylum with Spider-Man, I mean, that could work really well. They've said there's no like killing in it.
No.
Which I guess is kind of canon, because he just kind of ties people up and leaves them for the authorities.
Yeah, he wants people to be arrested, and well, you know, most superheroes are like that. They don't kill people.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't be friendly if he's killing you.
Yeah. Well, Punisher was a not friendly neighborhood.
Yeah, but he never disguised himself as a superhero. He was a vigilante.
Yeah.
I know technically Batman's a vigilante, but he has that stupid code.
Yeah.
I can't kill anyone, but I will completely fuck them up when they wish they were dead, and they will become a potato.
I will smash them to death.
I like Batman, but
is there a
really
superhero that kills people? This is going to bother me.
Well, Punisher.
Yeah, he's not really, like you said, not a superhero. Not really. He doesn't really have superpowers.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're going to get all technical,
there's super villains that they.
Arrow used to kill people until he got said, "Oh, you probably shouldn't do that." Oh yeah.
Again, not really a super. He's just good with a bow and arrow. He has no superpowers as such. God, I don't know. I'm going to Google it. So, I mean, the last Spider-Man game I played was Spider-Man 2 on the Xbox, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a really good game. So I'm hoping this is going to be good as well. Graphically, it looks really nice.
Yeah, I thought it looks incredible.
It runs really smooth. I would say it was running at 60 FPS, but I could be wrong on that. But it was running very smooth. The cityscape looked amazing. I'm interested on how the web mechanics work, because, like I say, a lot of that, what they showed were quick-time events, so you were just pressing buttons and he was going to stop things, and this, what was it, this crane that was falling down, he was rappelling it up. Yeah, very much looking forward to it. Can't wait to see more about it.
Yeah.
I suggest people should just go and check out the trailer.
Yeah, I think the trailer is probably going to be the best way to go. Oh, I've got a 4-page bloody ad. Piss off. Right, so superheroes that kill people. This is so underwhelming. Spider-Man accidentally kills Gwen Stacy. No one cares. Superman accidentally kills Lois Lane. No one cares. Speedball.
But he turned back time.
Yeah. Speedball and the New Warriors accidentally kill an entire town. Lots of accidentally. Hawkeye accidentally kills Egghead. Iron Man accidentally sets Titanium Man on fire. Barry Allen accidentally kills Savitar. Green Arrow accidentally kills a criminal. Lots of accidentally. No one's just like, yeah, fuck him, murder him. Don't like his face, kill him.
Apart from the Punisher.
Yeah. No one's... Very few people just like, yeah, kill you, kill you.
Don't forget about Deadpool, though.
Yeah, Deadpool's definitely is he a superhero?
Well, yes, he is. He is. Well, he has superpowers.
He's definitely super. I don't know if I'd call him a hero. Well, he does good things. Well, he's really like...
He's an anti-hero, that's the thing.
Yeah, he's really like... Deadpool for Deadpool. He's all in favour of himself. And if that involves helping people or killing people, he'll just do that. So
Wolverine kills people.
Yeah, he does, but yeah, I guess Wolverine. There's probably a couple. There's probably very specific instances. But yeah, there's got to be a superhero. Let's just call it Deadpool and be done with it.
Yeah.
Christ. So we are now 1 hour 27. 1 hour 27 in, give or take. We'll probably cut a little bit out at the beginning, so let's call it 1 hour 20 minutes. This has been your 100 and what's that? What's one? Crap, my maths. Like 90 minute. This has been your 90-minute special edition E3 podcast.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half and 90 minutes.
Yeah, I just forgot how to math briefly. I was like 120 minutes, 1 hour 20. That doesn't sound right. Yes. So, I mean, have we got anything else to add?
There's tons more of E3 stuff going on, but that's like I think we've hit the main points, especially for what I was interested in anyway. Oh, actually, no. There's one more thing we should talk about. Is I can't remember the name of the game, but the new Mario game from Ubisoft, which is Mario XCOM. That looks amazing.
Mario XCOM?
Have you not seen this?
No, I've not seen this.
You need to go search for this as soon as we finish this. It's so good. It's the new Rabbids game, but they've got Mario involved as well. And you've got your normal kind of exploration going around, but when you get into a fight, it's done like XCOM.
So it's a tactical RPG.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Oh,
but it looks so good. It looks really, really good.
There was a story about this in that Ubisoft were in conversations with Nintendo, and they said, "Yeah, you can put Mario in a game, but it can't be a platformer." And they were just like, "All right then." So they were just like, RPG, tactical RPG. Stick the rabbits in it, it'll be fine.
Give him a fucking laser.
Yeah. So, I
highly recommend everyone go check that out because it looks so cool.
It certainly does.
And of course, it's a Switch exclusive as well, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is. It would be unwise not to be, I think.
The thing is, I really enjoyed XCOM. I thought it was a really good game. I never completed it because all my guys kept dying.
Yeah, I
feel like this might be a little easier, so I might actually be able to enjoy it.
It might be a little bit more forgiving, I feel.
Yeah.
God, I suppose so. We've gone through the big E3 news.
What was your favourite? Did you watch any actual press conferences?
No, I didn't actually.
Well, Microsoft was obviously great. They showed off 42 games. 22 of them were exclusive. They showed off the Xbox X, obviously. It was a good, really good press conference. EA's was pretty good as well. Obviously, they have to hit all the sports games, but they did it in a fairly quick and straight to the point way. They're not looking. Their games, their sports games. They're trying something new with them. They're not just doing the normal. Oh, here's the new roster update and
we've got new team colours.
Yeah, they're looking at new tech and stuff, and they're introducing story modes and stuff to their sports games. So they're actually trying something new. So that was quite cool. Need for Speed now looks like Burnout. Battlefront 2 looks amazing. I can't believe you haven't even mentioned that.
Battlefront. Oh yeah. It does. I think it does look incredible. But I mean, I wasn't particularly sold on the first. The first one was good, but it was.
This one's gonna have a story mode, a single offline story mode stuff, and they were showing off a 40-player battle, which was really cool. That was impressive. So yeah, the EA one was good. They showed a couple of new IPs in there as well, like A Way Out, which we were just talking about. That was cool. Bethesda's press conference seemed pretty pointless. Like they showed off some cool stuff, and the new Castle Wolfenstein looks great.
Yeah, Wolfenstein does look pretty good.
But they've rented out a place. Had loads of people come. I forgot the guy's name. The guy comes out on stage, goes, "Yeah, got some stuff here to show you." Roll the footage. Half an hour later, comes back on stage and goes, "Cheers." It was like, oh, okay. I was kind of pointless renting out this place, wasn't it? But yeah, they showed. It was mostly just like, this game's going to be in VR. Here's some DLC. Oh, and a new standalone Dishonored game, not DLC. So I'm not sure about what's going on. I don't know if that's a full-fledged game or not. I don't know. Looks interesting, but I don't know what it is. I couldn't get into the first game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so their press conference, it was alright. It was short. Just seemed a bit pointless. They should have just done it as a direct like Nintendo, I think. Then, obviously, next was Microsoft's, which was great. Ubisoft was probably my favourite one. It felt like a proper traditional press conference, but they brought out the developers for each game, and they were all very passionate about it and couldn't wait to show it off. All the games that they showed were cool. Yeah, it was just a nice, fun how E3 should be. And then Sony's press conference. Again, it was just a guy came out a couple of times on stage, said some words, and then it was trailer, and mostly games that we already knew of.
Yeah.
The new ones that they showed off were okay. It was mostly VR stuff, and it was a lot of DLC stuff. There's some new DLC coming for Horizon, which is cool. I tried not to watch too much of that because I haven't completed Horizon yet.
Yeah, I think
it looked good.
I think the big thing with Horizon is that it comes with a patch that allowed you to turn off helmets. I believe.
Turn off helmets?
Yeah. So
Really?
yeah. So there's some costumes in Horizon Zero Dawn that look very silly on your face, and you can turn them off.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. But yeah. So they showed Days Gone. That looks interesting. It's like The Last of Us, but with bikers.
Mm.
Zombie horde.
That other game.
State of Decay 2.
There we go. Yeah,
That looks amazing.
Really good.
I just remember about that. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah, it does.
It's like what the first game should have been, kind of thing.
Hopefully, it's multiplayer.
Oh, and Crackdown 3 looked interesting, and you had Terry Crews doing the.
I love
the
Terry
video for it.
Crews.
Terry loves Crackdown. Yeah, I popped for that pretty. As soon as he popped up, I was like, oh yeah.
Definitely
Love me some
going to
Terry
get me
Crews.
some of that. And he does the voice
Yeah.
as well, I think.
Yes. So yeah, Crackdown. I'm looking forward to seeing more on Crackdown. But yeah, that was cool to see. And then Nintendo's press conference was obviously the direct.
Was short, I
Showed
think,
off.
about 20 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes. Showed the new Yoshi game, which looks like everything's made out of cardboard, which is quite interesting.
So Super Paper Yoshi.
Yeah, basically. New Fire Emblem game. I'm trying to think what else they showed. Metroid 4, obviously.
The logo for.
Yeah, the logo for it. The new Mario game, Mario Odyssey. That looks really cool. You can, with the cap, you can actually essentially possess things,
Yeah.
and you can traverse the environment using the the bad guys, and yeah, it's interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to that game, and it's one of the reasons I want to buy the Switch. They're incorporating a lot of stuff from older Mario games as well.
Yeah,
which is cool.
We'll have to see how that pans out.
Yeah, there's some more DLC for Zelda.
Yep,
Um,
heard about that.
I can't think what else there is now. There's a couple of other things that they mentioned, but nothing that I was too interested in, really.
No.
But yeah, the best press conference was definitely UB, followed by Microsoft.
People have been losing their shit about Nintendo, but I think people just wanted to see something from Nintendo. I mean, the last couple have been kind of like, oh yeah, here's a mediocre Wii U game because we're saving all our best things for the next console that we're not going to tell you about.
Oh, did you see there was another South Park game announced?
Oh, a mobile.
Yeah, Phone Destroyer.
Yeah, that I don't even know. I don't know what it's about or what it is. Really.
It looks like sort of a card game.
Oh, mate. Oh, but it'll be full of microtransactions.
I think they joked about it that it is going to be full of microtransactions, but it's not actually microtransactions.
Ah, well, maybe it'll be alright then.
I'll have to look into that, but I think that's what the joke was, part of the trailer.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's probably a game I'll be playing on my phone because I haven't played a game on my phone for a long time.
No, hopefully it'll be good.
But yeah, I think that's everything from E3 pretty much.
That has to be it. We have gone on at some length.
Well, it's obviously because it's E3.
Yeah, it's E3. It was an E3 extravaganza.
I'm sure we've missed some things. I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Yeah, we will probably have missed some things, but I mean these are just kind of personal.
These are the stuff that we're interested. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these are.
This is what the podcast is about. We just sit down and chat about games that we find interesting.
Yeah, it's basically all about. You just get to hear about the things we like.
Yeah, that's it. And you're gonna like it.
Yeah, you're gonna like it or else. No, seriously, no or else. Don't listen to someone else. We need listeners. Right, with I guess that's it for another week then.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed their E3, whatever they did. Like I took Monday and Tuesday off and drank and ate a lot of shit whilst watching it.
That was basically your Christmas.
Yeah, this is I always say it's my religious holiday.
Right, so I guess we're on to the God, what is it? Social networking kind of thing. So you can find the Nothing to Play on nothingtoplay.co.uk, where I will definitely put a photo of us in our suited variants. You can find the podcast there and the poster things there and the Facebook website, which I try to be more mindful of, is Nothing to Play. Well, on Facebook, it's just Nothing to Play. You can find my now completely neglected Facebook page at Pondis Plays and my completely neglected Twitter on at Pondis Plays, I guess, now. Where can we not see any of your updates?
Well, I don't really tend to. I look at Twitter, but I don't really tend to post on Twitter.
So
if people did message me, I would get back to them. But every now and again, I do something on Twitter. But yeah, so my Twitter handle is Ivan_Zar, spelled ZARR. You can find me on Instagram at Bold Bearded Gamer, on Facebook as Bold Bearded Gamer, and YouTube as Bold Bearded Gamer, and that's everywhere, I believe. And
we've stopped mentioning the YouTube thing for Nothing to Play because we just forget.
I just haven't updated it. Yeah.
There, we've said it.
At some point, I might just put them all up. I don't know.
No, let's just keep it a day behind, so you have to go to the website.
Well, a day behind is months behind.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So now you have to go to the website. So there.
I think it's only up to episode 4.
Oh God. And we're now on 22. This is our 22.
Yeah, there we go.
It's almost a full season of Nothing to Plays.
That's true.
What do you think? 24 episodes a season usually?
Yeah, usually, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, almost a full season.
Unless you're going Power Rangers, then it's like 67 or something.
Yeah, there's some that never really had seasons, just had hundreds of episodes.
Yeah.
Right, definitely going. Definitely going. So, yeah, we hope you had a fun E3. Well, I hope you had a fun E3. I don't know what Kingy wants.
I hope they did. I definitely did.
Yeah. So
we need more positivity in games. People need to stop being so fucking depressed and moaning about shit.
Yes, exactly it.
Enjoy it. It's a celebration of games.
Everyone's sentiment. And now we are definitely going. So, This has been your 1 hour, 40-minute episode. Incredible. 100 minutes.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't even. So, until next week.
Yeah, catch you later, guys.